On Tech News today, Dell buys EMC in the biggest tech merger ever. Nissan invents a car that's got screens all over the dash and seats. And the Pentagon is working on a self-destructing drone. It's all coming up next on Tech News Today.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Tech News Today is provided by CashFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is Tech News Today for Monday, October 12th, 2015. This episode is brought to you by Braintree. Looking to set up payments for your business? Braintree gives your app or website a payment solution that accepts just about every payment method with one simple integration. Plus, Braintree will give you the first $50,000 in transactions fee-free. To learn more, visit BraintreePayments.com/TNT. And by ZipRecruiter. Are you hiring? With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post to 100-plus job sites, including social networks, all with a single click. Screen rate and hire the right candidates fast. Try ZipRecruiter with a free 4-day trial now at ZipRecruiter.com/TNT. Tech News Today is a show where we talk about the tech news with the journalists who report it. My name is Mike Elgan, and our co-anchor today is CNET.com editor-in-chief, Lindsey Turrentine. Hey, Lindsey, happy Canadian Thanksgiving.
Oh, well, thank you. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, I think I would like to start celebrating a Canadian Thanksgiving because, you know, it's turkey and also, you know, all those other Canadian delicacies like French fries with gravy on it and stuff like that. So anyway, so how you doing, Lindsey? You guys have been still doing this, your organization, not you so much personally directly, have a print publication. Is that thing still in the works? Is that still happening?
Oh my gosh, yes. It's great. You guys should go find it. It's quarterly, so it stays on newsstands for quite some time. But we just put in the can, got sent off to the printers our Q4 issue, and I'm just thrilled about it and the cover, and I can't say anything about it.
Sure, you can't. Come on, just tell me.
No, I can't. But you are going to want it.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to wait. Print didn't CNET drive all the print publications out of business? Anyway.
Yes, and now we're taking them back.
Yeah, that was the plan all along. It's like the Amazon strategy. All right, well, Dell is acquiring EMC. The PC giant is reportedly buying the corporate software storage and security company for $67 billion, with a B, dollars, making this by far the biggest tech acquisition ever. By comparison, the second biggest tech buy was Facebook's acquisition of WhatsApp for $19 billion. So the Dell EMC deal is about 3.5 times bigger than the second biggest tech deal ever. Andrew Nusca is a senior editor for Fortune and joins us now. Welcome to the show, Andrew.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Now, I'm confused about this whole thing, and maybe you can help me out. Isn't Dell a much smaller company than EMC? And why isn't EMC buying Dell? And how does this whole thing work? And where's Dell even getting the money? How does this even work?
All right, we're going to have to take these one by one because that's a lot of questions. So Dell being small, large, Dell is a lot bigger company than you'd think. They've just been flying under the radar because they're private. But you're right, EMC is a huge company, a huge market cap, but a lot of that value is stored in one of its subsidiaries, VMware. And so that's kind of how it's doing. Dell has a ton of cash on hand. It also is got Silver Lake Partners supporting it. And so, you know, it's pulling a lot of financial tricks to make this happen.
So, okay, EMC is public, right? And Dell is private. So how does this work? How does a private company buy a public company? What happens next?
Well, first you need a lot of money. No, I mean, in truth, if you can make it financially happen, you can make it happen. And so this is really an acquisition, right? That's how they're able to do it. Michael Dell is making it very clear that the same strategy that he did with Dell a few years ago, taking it private, giving it strategic independence, is what they want to do with the combined entity. And so it's unusual for sure, but it is possible.
Now, HP CEO Meg Whitman this morning sent an email to employees in which she implied that Dell was being run by a bunch of idiots. Basically, she said, quote, to pay back the interest on the $50 billion of debt that the new combined company will have on their balance sheet, Dell will need to pay roughly $2.5 billion a year in interest alone. That's $2.5 billion they'll allocate away from R&D and other business critical activities, which will keep them from better serving their customers. Now, obviously, she's she's there to rally the troops and that sort of thing. But does she have a good point? Is the interest on this going to be crippling for the new company, do you think?
I don't think it's going to be crippling. It looks like the money, the cash flow is in the right place. But I think she's got a point, and I must say that those two companies have been sniping at each other for a couple years now. I mean, we mustn't forget that they're direct competitors, and as HP itself splits, they've kind of exhibited a difference in strategic direction, right? HP believes that by splitting up, it can dominate better. EMC has taken the absolute opposite view on that a roll-up would be more effective in this market, and so it's been pretty funny to watch them go at each other. It's very much like watching Eagles and Cowboys fans during a football game.
Andrew, do you think what would Michael Dell say if he were lurking on that thread?
on the Meg Whitman thread?
Yeah, how would he answer that? What would he say?
Oh God, I mean, if you could somehow type an emoji that would roll your eyes, I'm sure he would do that. I mean, HP has its own troubles. I mean, a lot of people are wondering if either one of its respective companies, HP Enterprise, the business software focused one, and then of course HP Inc., the kind of laptops and printer side, if either one of those has more value in them separately. I mean, both companies are facing duress. The HP Inc. side is facing declining business, and then Enterprise hasn't really taken off. So, he'd say, put your money where your mouth is.
Now, interestingly, an article written 4 years ago by another Fortune writer said that the then Dell CEO Kevin Rollins wanted to buy EMC in 2002, so many years ago, for about 1/5 the price that they're paying today. And Michael Dell personally blocked those efforts. If that's all true, and it's on Fortune, so it must be true.
There you go.
Did they blow it? Was this a colossal error to not buy EMC back then?
Well, I don't think so, because the circumstances were so different. I mean, you mentioned the price. Remember, we're talking about 2002 here, different time, different economic climate.
It was a crazy time.
It was an absolutely crazy time. And then on top of that, you've got just a difference in strategy. And I think Dell at the time, I don't think that would have been a problem then.
All right, wonderful. Well, Andrew Nusca is at Fortune.com and on Twitter at Editorialiste. How do you say that, Andrew?
Editorialiste. It's French.
Okay, Editorialiste. Right. Okay, French. That makes sense. All right, Andrew. Thank you so much. Basically, editorialist with an E on the end. Andrew, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, bye-bye. Got more news coming up, including some crazy news coming out of Apple. But first, I want to talk about Braintree, one of our sponsors today. Braintree is the way to enable mobile payments. You know, in the old days, you used to have to go from payment provider to payment provider. It was really hard and really difficult. And now Braintree makes it super, super easy. And they'll even give you the first $50,000 in transactions fee-free. And I'll tell you how to do that at the end of this spot. But Braintree is like so good. You probably have been using it for quite a while and never noticed it. That never noticing it part, that's what's great about Braintree. You don't want to notice a payment system. You want the payment system to be like GitHubs or like Airbnbs or like Ubers. You get in the car, you take your ride, and you get out, and you don't even think about the payment system, because that's Braintree working behind the scenes to make all the payments solid and easy and basically hassle-free. And it's not only hassle-free for your customers, it's hassle-free for you. A little bit of code and just a few minutes, and you can enable all the power and flexibility of Braintree. You can instantly start accepting Apple Pay, of course, Android Pay, PayPal, Venmo, all the credit cards. You can even accept Bitcoin. That's right. If you have customers who want to pay for your goods or services with Bitcoin, Braintree just makes it happen automatically. Braintree gives you a full-stack payment solution support for all payment types that your customers might want, single integration across all platforms with superior fraud protection, customer service, and best of all, super fast payouts. Check it out for yourself. Go to BraintreePayments.com/TNT and find how to get the first $50,000 in transactions fee-free. That's BraintreePayments.com/TNT. Facebook rolled out a new shopping section today, and also a new kind of mobile ad that enables users to shop and buy without ever leaving Facebook. Kurt Wagner is a reporter for Recode and joins us now. Welcome to the show, Kurt.
Hey, good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Now, how will users see and access the dedicated shopping section?
The shopping section is going to be on the mobile app. So if you look in the lower right-hand corner of the app, there's a More tab. And if you click on that, it normally gives you all kinds of, traditional places you might go on Facebook, like pages or your own personal profile. And now there's going to be a shopping section within there. So you just click the shopping tab, and it's kind of a dedicated place to find products on Facebook, which is different than what they've done in the past, which is you've had to kind of discover stuff organically, right? It comes through your news feed with a buy button attached, perhaps, and that's how you might find stuff. But now they're making a dedicated landing page for people who go to Facebook looking to shop. So I think that's what's fascinating here.
Okay, so I have a question. I just loaded up my app and clicked that More button. I don't think I've ever clicked on that button before, and I certainly can't imagine being like, I gotta go shop. What are people going to buy here? And do you think that there really is anybody yet who is going to Facebook to shop?
I agree with you 100%, Lindsey. I don't think that people are thinking of Facebook as a place to shop yet. I asked the same question when I was learning about the product. I said, are you planning to make this more prominent? Because I don't even think I would stumble upon this if I was looking through the app. As of right now, this is the test that they're going with. Perhaps as the test goes on, they'll realize people aren't going to that, or maybe you and I are wrong, and maybe people are going to be going to the shopping landing page. I would be surprised. The types of things that you're going to buy, Facebook has been testing shopping pages for certain retailers now since the summer. So the retailers that were part of that test that have had shopping catalogs on their Facebook page for the last few months, they are going to be able to put stuff in the individual shopping section. So this is all, if it sounds complicated, if it sounds kind of nuanced, it very much is right now. We'll see if Facebook decides that this is a good place to have a shopping section, and if not, maybe it'll become more prominent down the line.
I don't know. I think duplicating everything on the internet in a sort of walled garden online service worked great for AOL, so should work great for Facebook as well. Now, Kurt, can you tell us about the Canvas ad?
Sure. So the Canvas ad is something that Facebook initially teased at the Cannes Lions Festival over the summer, the advertising festival over the summer. And essentially what it is it's a new type of immersive mobile ad. So you click on the ad and you're taken to a full screen of what an advertiser is able to basically set up a version of their website, but it's all hosted by Facebook. So it loads quicker. You don't actually leave Facebook when you're done browsing the website. You would jump right back into the Facebook news feed. And before, it was just simply these Canvas ads were just simply the website version of an advertiser. So say Gatorade or Nike or someone like that. Now they're saying that they're going to actually have buyable products in these ads. So you click on the ad, you go to a full screen version of what kind of feels like that retailer's website, and you can actually buy items all without leaving Facebook. And so I think that that's the key for them, right? Is that they've tried to host content with their what's the article saying? I'm blanking. Instant articles. They're trying to host content. Now they're trying to host people's websites, and now ultimately their shopping catalogs too. So why would you ever leave Facebook when you can do all the wonderful things you do on the internet all within Facebook's ecosystem?
Kurt, when are normals going to be able to see this? Like when do we get this section? Yeah,
we don't know yet. We don't know. It's being referred to as a test, a small test. They wouldn't even explain exactly how many people are going to see this. I would think that this is the kind of thing where it could be 3, 6, it could even be a year before they really roll this out to everyone, because they want to make sure that by the time that they make shopping a big part of Facebook, that they have it figured out, that they know where people want to go buy, what they want to go buy, and have enough retailers in the coffer, if you will, so that they can show you good products. Like, you don't want to go to the buy section the first time and have 10 options, because then you're never going to come back. So I don't think they're in any rush to make this a full-fledged feature for everyone, but it is fascinating, of course, that they're starting to get really serious about commerce.
They like money. Kurt, that is an awesome background you got there. I love a great background. What floor are you on?
Isn't this great? Yeah. I'll kind of move out of the way a
look
little
at that.
bit.
Wow.
And here you have the wonderful, we're on the 15th floor in San Francisco. Actually, next time I'll try and sit on the other side of the building. You can see the Bay Bridge and the ferry building. So I'll even try and set it up better next time you guys have me on.
And if those windows open, of course, fly a drone around.
Fly a drone, paper airplane, whatever's,
Awesome. Catch up with Kurt Wagner at recode.net and on Twitter at KurtWagner8. Kurt, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye. Acer unveiled new Windows 10 hardware today, including a 17.3-inch tablet. The Aspire Z3700 is designed to be used with a keyboard and mouse, but it also has a 5-hour battery. Mike Brown is a tech reporter for International Business Times and joins us to talk about it. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now, can you tell us more about the Aspire Z3700?
Sure. So this is a 17.3-inch tablet. It runs Windows 10. As you say, it has a 5-hour battery life. So it's not really something that's going to be replacing your iPad. You know, it's not the right size. It's not going to last for anywhere near as long. This is more for moving around the house and having a little bit of portability while also having a large amount of screen real estate.
So 17.3-inch screen, that's huge. And as you said, kind of short battery life. It seems like sort of a niche product, but you know, Acer is known for making products that probably a few people want. Who are the people who want this? What are you going to do with a giant tablet that also it's basically like the tablet version of a desktop?
I think this is going to appeal to possibly older relatives who prefer the simplicity of something like an iPad. You know, very straightforward. A product like this is really going to shine with Windows 10 and Continuum, where the user interface adapts depending on whether the person is using a keyboard and mouse or a tablet. So if you have it at the desk, then you'll have your traditional Windows interface. But if you suddenly pick it up and decide to take it around the house with you, you'll have a much easier to use touch-based interface.
Now, can you talk about this convertible laptop they also announced called the Aspire R14?
Yes, so this is a 14-inch tablet. It's a 2-in-1. It folds up. Again, it's taking advantage of the same Continuum interface. This one's a little bit more powerful, whereas with the Z3700, you had an Intel Celeron Pentium processor. This one's running an Intel Skylake processor, and it's available with solid-state storage and up to 8 gigabytes of RAM.
All right, so tell us, how much do these cost? When can you get them?
So the R14 is available in North America, Europe, and Africa from late October. In North America, it's going to cost $699. The Z3700, they haven't announced a North American release yet, but that'll be available in Europe for 599 euros. So we're still waiting on a North American release for that.
Fantastic. Can't wait to check it out. We'll probably review it on before you buy one or both of these, I would imagine. Mike Brown is at ibtimes.com and on Twitter at Mike Arild Brown. Is it A-R-I-L-D? Is that your middle name, Mike?
That is, yeah. It's pronounced Arild.
Arild. Okay, wonderful. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Apple is censoring its own news app on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party. Any iPhone connecting to a Chinese telecom network will find news in the app blocked, even for people from other countries visiting China. Here's the worst part. Apple is even reaching into phones and censoring news stored on the device. Apple's News app has a little button for saving news. You just press the button when you're looking at a story, and it sort of saves it on the device. So if you're, say, in the U.S. or in the U.K. or in Australia, the 3 places where the News app has been rolled out officially, and have saved a bunch of articles in the Apple News app, and then you go to China for a business trip, Apple will actually delete those articles from the phone, according to first-hand reports. Lindsey Turrentine, this is understandable that Apple would, get in the censorship business because, of course, China is the future of their future growth. But what do you think about this story?
Well, it's crazy. I'm really curious about whether those saved articles return when you leave, or if that's it. They're just gone. That's a detail, though, and I think that what's so scary about this is that a lot of companies, smaller companies, have kind of just said, we're not dealing with the Chinese government. This is too much. Our business doesn't require it. Apple is not in a position to do that. All of Apple's growth, much of Apple's growth is coming from China. They are absolutely dependent on China to maintain the pace of their growth, and it's scary how much they're willing to bend. I wonder if there's another way to do this without kind of just, it seems like complete capitulation, but it's really hard to know what goes on in those conversations behind closed doors.
It's hard to know even if there was a conversation. I mean, one possibility is that Apple basically said, look, they're going to want us to, we know what they censor and why and how and all that stuff. Let's just censor it preemptively. Just remove the entire problem by not allowing it to work through Chinese networks, and we won't even have an issue. It won't even come up. Another possibility is that they had talks with the Chinese government representatives and said, you know, we're going to have this app coming out, and even though we're not officially rolling it out in China, if you download it from a Chinese, you know, app store, I mean, a U.S. or an Australian or UK app store, you can just get it. So you can get it in other countries. And then the Chinese government said, well, we really don't like the idea of that because it can be anything. I mean, I believe the Chinese government actually, you know, the Great Firewall of China already censors things like the New York Times and, you know, mainstream U.S. publications like that. And those are the main source of news for the Apple News app. So rather than trying to cherry pick and saying, well, this is allowed, this isn't allowed, they're just saying, okay, nothing works.
Right. Well, China. I also wonder if there just wasn't functionality for the Great Firewall to be able to do what it normally does through the app. I wonder if there's some sort of technical reason that Apple would just say, you know what, never mind. I mean, I will say that if I were in Apple's shoes, my argument would probably be, look, this isn't censorship. We're not stopping any specific speech. We're just saying we're not going there.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Right? Like we are not creating a platform for sharing news in China because that forces us to censor and we don't want to. So you could see it from sort of a charitable standpoint and say, we're not going to get in the business of censoring. We're not going to allow ourselves to participate in this activity. So we're just not using this part of the app.
Well, I tell you this, Russia's going to get jealous. The Russian government's going to go, why aren't you censoring in Russia? Maybe they are, who knows? This is all based on firsthand reports, and so we'll see if your question gets answered in the days ahead, whereas if you leave China and had bookmarks, will they reappear? Were those stored in the cloud, or will it be restored, or whatever? That we don't know. We got some more crazy news coming right up. But first, I want to talk about ZipRecruiter. The most important thing you'll ever do in business, if you hire people or if you have a small business, have a department, even if you have a personal assistant, is who you hire. You have to hire the right people, and it's very, very hard to do because there is a plethora of places where people go to look for work. There are dozens and dozens of websites. People go to social networks, and to actually go from site to site and try to figure out each and every format for posting your job, it's a nightmare, and you don't have time for that. So what you have to do is go to ZipRecruiter, ZipRecruiter.com, because ZipRecruiter will do it all for you. They do all the hard stuff for you. So, for example, you can post to 100+ job sites with a single click, and you can also be instantly matched to their massive resume database, which has way more than 6 million resumes in it and many more every single day. And you post once, and within 24 hours, your candidates just roll into ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. ZipRecruiter's been used by more than 400,000 businesses, and you can try it for free, no charge at all. One of the great things about ZipRecruiter, too, is you can customize your job boards and pages and so on. They'll build the page for you using your graphics, so your logo, all that kind of stuff, so that it looks very, very professional, even if you're a very small business. We have a user testimonial from Scott, who's a happy ZipRecruiter client, who said the recruiting process used to be so painful. Before, I'd post to several places, get 1 million resumes, but only a few responses from qualified candidates. It was torture. But with ZipRecruiter, we post once and get qualified candidates in one easy-to-review place. We've hired some of our best employees using ZipRecruiter. And today you can try ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/TNT. That's ZipRecruiter.com/TNT, and we thank ZipRecruiter for supporting Tech News Today. The U.S. military is working on a drone that delivers a payload and then can be remotely evaporated on command. The idea is to create a drone that can't be recovered by the enemy. The project is called Inbound Controlled Air Releasable Unrecoverable Systems, which spells, wait for it, Icarus, as in the Greek mythological figure whose wax wings melted when he flew too close to the sun. The Pentagon appears undaunted by the fact that the Icarus myth is a story about hubris and arrogance and not about the tactical advantage of wings that melt. How cool is this, Lindsey Turrentine? It appears to be, and again, they're not... if you look in detail at their criteria, they literally want this drone to evaporate into a vapor when they throw a switch somewhere. How cool is that?
I think that's the coolest part. And it makes you wonder, how many things can the military already evaporate into a vapor?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that, how do they do that? What is that for?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, they have an entire sort of category of research right now, and this is part of it, where everything in the category is stuff that vanishes out in the field. And I, for one, would actually wait until the enemy gets their hands on the device, and that would go, little plunger, and then poof. But that's just me.
This is definitely the stuff of, Acme.
Oh, yeah.
Roadrunner.
Yeah, exactly. Coyote.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of cool vehicles, Nissan plans to introduce a new concept car at the upcoming Tokyo Motor Show that has screens all over the place. The car is called the Teatro for Days. Teatro is Italian for theater. The car itself has screens that cover the dashboards and even seats, the headrests, and even parts of the exterior. Nissan's executive design director, Satoshi Tai, said that millennials, which Nissan is calling, quote, share natives, unquote, see time spent in cars for connecting and sharing experiences with friends, not paying attention to driving. The Tokyo Motor Show begins October 29th. How comfortable is a seat that is actually a display, Lindsey? And would this be a touch display? Could you actually control it with your butt?
Yes, I say yes.
Okay.
I have two things to say about this. One, are millennials tired yet of being talked about? That's just a broad question. But also, I've been thinking about this a lot. I think this is actually super smart. We're not that far away in sort of a global sense from self-driving cars.
Yeah.
And once cars are self-driving, they will be giant screens.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to want, is a way to interact with the rest of the world from inside your car. So let's get ahead of it.
There'll be tiny living rooms, and people just lounge in there until they arrive. And in fact, going on long trips will be no big deal at all. It'll just be like it being at home, except smaller. So it's going to be cool. Well, if that car isn't crazy enough for you, Switzerland-based Rinspeed is planning to unveil at CES in January a new self-driving hybrid sports car called the Stoss. I think I'm pronouncing that right. The car's steering wheel folds up and disappears inside the dashboard. This, again, is a self-driving car, as we were saying. It stops being a car inside when you're in self-driving car mode. And the car has two curved widescreen displays. Apparently, these come closer to you so you can watch them and touch them and all that kind of stuff. But here's the best part. The Stoss has a drone landing pad on the back. And the company says that it has different suggestions for what you could do with this drone that's on the back. One of them is you could go and pick flowers and deliver them to somebody. So that would be weird. Don't shred the flowers with the propellers. And they also said that, you're on this awesome drive, you're on PCH, and you're driving along the coast. Go ahead and launch that drone and video yourself driving. So, you know what, Lindsey? I don't care. I want this car. I want a car with a drone landing pad on the back. Period. That's all I can say about that.
It's just gratuitous. That is one of those conversations where the marketing department is like, "What is hot?
Yeah,
that we could put on this car to get some attention." I know drones.
Yes. Yeah, the idea of the car taking a selfie of itself didn't fly, so let's try drones. Very cool. Well, our TNT fan of the day is Slee Phil in Stone Harbor, New Jersey, who posted this picture on Twitter. Look at that.
Oh, I want to be there.
If you're in a beautiful harbor and about to go sailing, don't look at the scenery. Watch Tech News Today.
Slee, can we switch places? You can host.
There you go.
And I will watch from your boat.
Very, very cool. Show us how you watch or listen to TNT. Just record a video or take a picture of yourself or your setup and post it on Instagram, Google+, Twitter, or Facebook. And use the hashtag HowIWatchTNT so we can find it. Lindsey Turrentine, what else is going on at the world of CNET.com?
We're cranking through the fall. You know what fall means, right? It's, every single new product that's coming out in the world gets it announced between like September 1st and October 15th. We're in that zone, and it's exciting.
Yeah, Black Friday is coming, so watch out, folks. I wonder, Canada, Black Friday was originally the Friday after Thanksgiving. I wonder if they have a Canadian Black Friday from yesterday.
I don't think so. It's too early because it's so far before even Halloween.
Yeah, it's too early. That's a good point. Of course, Black Friday now is a charade. It's like just lasts for weeks now. And that's going to start pretty soon, too. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. Turrentine on the Twitters. And Lindsey, thank you so much for co-anchoring today.
Thanks, Mike. Always a pleasure.
All right. Pleasure was all mine. Let us know what's on your mind. Send an email to tnt@twit.tv or call us at 260-TNT-SHOW. That's 260-868-7469. You can subscribe to Tech News Today on Stitcher. You can choose some other way to subscribe at twit.tv/TNT. You can also watch us live every weekday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1700 UTC at twit.tv/live. And you can follow us on Twitter at Tech News Today TV. You can follow me at elgan.com. Also, don't miss our other news show, Tech News Tonight, at 4 p.m. Pacific every single weeknight. And that is the Tech News Today. The show was produced by Jason Cleanthus and edited by Anthony Nielsen. My name's Mike Elgan. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.